Yeah, I watch most all regions minus China because I think I'm busy, doing this. But DP's only in C right now. Very popular here in C, but I don't see any other region picking it. It's another flavor pick. That hero is very good against the DP, but very bad versus the Phoenix, and questionable versus Enchantress. So we'll see how that goes. If Enchantress can get levels, I think it's like her level 20 talent. I haven't played support in a while, but it used to be able to steal an Ancient. So you're gonna steal the HOD in the early game. You do have like that incredible attack speed reduction, so it's not easy for Lycan to kill you. Phoenix, he can't hit the egg with summon units at all, so it's really hard for him to kill the egg. And the fire spirits reduce attack speed on your summon units, so it's not a good matchup there.
You say you've been watching other regions. Does that mean are we in for a carry Enchantress? Did you see? Did you see that one?
I did.
I think everyone saw that one and maybe wish they hadn't seen it. At least definitely not twice in a row.
Yeah. It looked good until it didn't, and then you realize you're a carry that does 0 damage against magic immunity in late game. Like,
it's true.
No, that's a bit of a problem. It's like the opposite. But the whole idea of a carry that right clicks is that you don't care about magic immunity, but yeah,
unless you can like make up for it in your other roles, because off lane is kind of you're a hidden carry nowadays. This patch in the off lane, you like a Lycan, carry some games, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen this game.
Yeah,
personally speaking.
Well, we'll see where SMG lane. I mentioned I would like to see offlane Death Prophet, but Moon is always been a big Death Prophet player, so with the Bat DP, they have some flexibility between their offlane and mid here. And hey, Enchantress, a flex hero.
Why did they pick Bat though?
Yeah,
I don't understand the Bat pick.
What, Wyvern, Lasso against the Jug. It seems okay. It doesn't like instantly strike me as like you don't know your lane matchup at this point. Unless you're playing offlane.
I was gonna say, is it gonna be carry and goes against the Lycan? Is
carry
Bat
Lycan?
I think it's
I don't know what that.
I think it has to be mid, so you're picking Bat blind. So from my opinion, DP's offlane versus Jug, it's good. If you get the siphon off on the Jug, even if he spins on you, you still get the heal, right? So it's very difficult for Jug to jump you. And obviously you have a lot of like right-click harass too, so that lane should just be very good for the Death Prophet in theory. The Enchantress 5 for sure, DP 4, or they could do a 4-inch if they want 5. Phoenix doesn't really matter, but then they pick the Bat Rider, which to me is like very strange, very strange. I don't know. It's not. You can argue both ways, and I think there's an argument to add for both that Bat is good versus Jug because you have the lasso through BKB. At the same time, he is magic immune, so he doesn't care that much about like sticky napalm and like the harass.
What about the Bat into Lycan? As far as
I think Lycan's very good versus Bat. Okay. Like
you just overwhelm him.
Yeah, you just put your summons on him and he just dies really fast.
Runs
Plus you're hasted, right? So the sticky doesn't affect you. So he's really going to be playing around Lasso, which is a pretty long cooldown.
Ooh.
I have not seen this versus Bat, but it actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlimited stick charges just to keep on nuking him.
You've got that annoying jump that slows, like it probably can't die from him. So I haven't seen this matchup, but it looks pretty cool, and I'm very interested to see how it pans out.
When you're putting your hedging your bets towards the Zeus in that matchup, though.
Yeah, I mean, Bat generally is like it's not the same Bat Rider. It's like a year or a year and a half ago where you could just put it mid and it'd win every matchup. It's fairly weak in lane now, especially if you're versus ranged heroes. Its power comes from like the mid game where you can just run around, maybe get early BKB travels and get some key lassos off. But you are playing versus Wyvern in this game, and I think this, unless Wyvern gets jumped himself, like this curse will be really good against this BKB Bat running in. I like what Fnatic has going here again, but SMG did outplay them the last game, so we'll see. And they've got a last pick carry here to pick.
Is it at the moment that you think Fnatic has a stronger lineup and something that is easier to execute compared to SMG? Oh.
That's my boy right there.
Yeah, it was banned last game. This time around, mid one gets his hand on Lone Druid. It must have been playing it in scrims and pubs because they had a read on it last game. So.
Yeah, the Lone Druid last pick coming out, which means Mike and John are going to be joining us. John, you get to go first because I want to express my disappointment with Mike later.
Yeah, look, SMG, they had a great time game 1. This game, the draft is still pretty interesting. They go for that lone druid. I feel like it could be a good factor for SMG to play around. I think it's a great solution to kind of deal with a jug down the line that hits some early tempo. If we see mid one decide to play aggressive, can be done with the LD. So I think SMG has another lineup that plays into their style. For Fnatic, they go with a support Zeus for John UL, and they still run the mid Armel Winter Wyvern. They're going to have to show us if that pos 5 Zeus works for them, and I think SMG just has that aggression lined up.
I'm waiting for you to express that disappointment with me, Nat. But before you do, I'm going to make a point to counter your point that you're going to make. Okay. I didn't realize before we started that game 1. I completely forgot.
I know what you're going to say.
Go on.
Is it the tweet?
Tell us. It's the tweet.
I knew you were going to bring up the tweet.
This is the second time he's done this to Fnatic. I was there in Stockholm. Kyle was climbing up the stairs tweeting at the time, saying Fnatic can't lose against OG. That was a game they were 20 kills ahead. And long behold, they end up somehow throwing the game against OG, and OG goes in to win the major. I was going to kick Kyle down those stairs. I'm not going to lie. I was going to keep him right down the damn stairs. I couldn't believe it. I can't fight Kyle. I don't know what to say about these drafts. SMG, they've got the Kyle buff. I don't know what to tell you.
That's it. It's not Mike's fault, guys. He's trying his best out here. I'm going to say that you're on the side of Fnatic. I'm just going to guess for you.
No.
And, okay, your SMG and Gods is Fnatic, and I'm not going to let them talk at all. We're just going to give it straight up to Mike and John.
Thank you so much, Nat. We do go into game number 2. Jonathan, I've explained. You were there at the time as well. You saw me talking to Kyle after that tweet. At the major. He did it to him, Jonathan. He's done it again on request of Gary Onko, who asked for him to tweet about this. He's done it again to Fnatic. SMG, they've got an immeasurable buff, I think, in this series.
Yeah, I mean, it showed up in game 1 there, Mike. And again, game 2, they come out with something special. They bring out the LD for mid 1. Keen to see what he does with that hero. They've been playing on point. It's been so much more disciplined as well in game 1. I think if they just maintain that play style, whatever buff Kyle gave them, as long as they stay disciplined, it feels like they'll carry through, Mike. So we've got to see. I mean, they were talking on the panel, right? Fear was saying the Zeus matchup for Batrider, it's not be great. They end up running a pos 5 Zeus for John UL, and they give Armel the mid-Winter Wyvern anyway. So it's a Winter Wyvern versus Batrider lane, which doesn't feel too bad, but also not maybe not the most amazing for Moon either, but certainly better than the Zeus lane, where the nukes will just keep flying through. So I'm keen to see what Armel can show on the Winter Wyvern, right? Like, he's just taking a Moon hero away, showing it down mid. Whether or not he can keep that performance that Moon is known for in the Winter Wyvern is another thing, but it's just a bit different from Fnatic, right? Especially that pos 5 Zeus. I mean, it can work. Zeus is actually a pretty nice support if you can sustain yourself. It just also falls flat if it doesn't have a great time early.
Yeah. Well, we got into it, Jonathan. We'll start with the bot lane, of course, because that's where we are. Fu are going to be on the Phoenix and Raging Potato onto the DP. Of course, they are going to be against Raven once again on that Juggernaut, and now Januel on the pos 5 Zeus. You said that there is a lot of potential with the support Zeus, John, and I do agree with you on that. But how does the laning stage go here for Fnatic and SMG? At least down at the bot lane.
You kind of want to just keep harassing up while you can. At the least, the Zeus won't care too much for the attack speed slow from something like the Fire Spirits of Afu, so you can just keep spamming out the Lightning Bolt. You would want your early sticks to fly out here for SMG's end. No stick on Raging, no stick on Afu, so you're going to get a lot of value here from John Uel just spamming out a bit. But I think as long as you hold through the first mana pool of John Uel, you have a pretty decent time. You can just clear out the wave, you can keep applying that Fire Spirit attack speed slow onto Raven, make this a pretty tough lane. And John Uel does have 3 mangoes on hand, so he's ready for the long haul. But once you run out of those resources, it won't do much unless he gets a reset.
Yeah, absolutely. Over in the mid lane, of course, Moon, Armel going to be going at it here on the Winter Wyvern and Batrider. And John, it's been a very long time since I've seen Winter Wyvern come out. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, look, but obviously Fnatic had to take it away just to block Moon from going for the Midwinter Wyvern himself.
Right.
The matchup against Batrider, it can feel pretty decent early on. Like, as Fear pointed out, Batrider's laning phase doesn't feel amazing. Armel does have good damage with the Blast, with the Arctic Burn, some good uptime to spam that, and Moon can't really gap close up against a range hero like that all too well to threaten with Firefly, so it's harder for him to look for the aggressive opportunities, harder for him to wave clear. He doesn't have as much wave clear as the Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just said it, John. Moon's having a real rough time now as Armel not going to have quite enough. Arctic Burn not doing quite enough damage, but I do agree with you on that point here, Jonathan. I think the Midwinter Wyvern's very good against that mid Batrider, and well, like you mentioned, he just can't get close to actually get the damage off he wants.
He's going to have to wait for some levels. Rune control going to be extra important for Moon, considering that you have so much value here for Armel with the early wand up. Again, one of the things when you're laying against Batrider just feels great. So Moon's going to have to get some help from his supports. They do have great rotation potential, especially with the Enchanters. We'll have to see if there's enough room to maybe make a play or two with Moon once he has some levels up on the Firefly.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He went for that sticky napalm just to keep the stacks going, but Armel going to juke it out and for another Arctic burnout. There won't be enough damage this time. How about top lane? How's that going? Mid one on that lone Druid with Pylite Die on the Ench against DJ on the Snapfire, and of course Jabs on the Lycan. Very interesting kind of carry to pick up here from SMG, though hold that thought, because Raven down a bot lane is going to find Arfush for first blood. So a very strong start for Fnatic onto the Jug. But going back to the lone Druid pickup, John, I realize we've seen mid one play this many times before in previous metas. How do you feel it fares in this kind of game?
I think it actually fares pretty well. It plays into mid one's early aggression and farming patterns he loves, although we're seeing a bit of a chase on Pylite Eye. He does have to heal, stalling out this process massively, still getting a nice pull off. And dragging Jabs all the way across from that lane. So you're giving a lot of room out to the lone Druid. He can farm easily. There's not much kill threat onto the LD. He's got enough range to stand back. The cookie combination still there. DJ's still getting twacked by the potato creep. Just walk out in the end, but that's a lot of damage done to DJ already.
Oh, absolutely is, John. It certainly is. Oh, even the Hellbear coming in now for Armel. Very annoying from Pylite Die. A bit of cheeky micro, and of course, you and I know, John, if this was the SEA server we were playing on, or a pub game, you know, the other mid laner would be complaining, oh, you can't 1v1, got a 2v1. It happened to me the other day, John. We won, by the way, in case you were wondering. It's Moon.
Oh.
In trouble again. In big trouble is Januel going to make his move in, and, well, 2v2 this time around. They do secure the kill, Januel with a very nice rotation.
And you can just see Fnatic drags all their supports out early. They managed to work the water into their advantage. They know they've got to keep that Batrider down from taking rune control, from even getting a top up. And they're building up on Armel. He's had a great lane. It is coming at the cost of the side lanes. Like, mid one has almost a free lane to farm up in. Jabs can't really slow him down. The threat of wolves doesn't do much against mid one. So the timings of our lone druid is going to be pretty darn quick. You expect the fast Mask of Madness on the bear. And, you know, that leads to the fast farm timing you'd want on the LD, and even some aggression if they want. Like, you've got some great ways of going through that Jug spin if you get lucky on the bear.
Yeah, certainly so. I do wonder how mid one does build up this lone druid this game as well. Again, it does feel like one of those heroes that you don't get to see very often, especially in this region. And when you do get to see it, it is quite a treat. It's a matter of how he wants to build it up. We'll see what does happen as time does go on. Interesting point though, like against the Wyvern, and I think you were the one saying this, Sean, but choosing lone druid into a Wyvern generally not the idea that you want to go for, right? Because the bear does do a lot of damage. It seems like SMG though, they're still very confident with this style of draft.
I think they're just banking on maybe jumping the Wyvern first down the line with, say, your Batrider, just being disciplined with how you split up and just playing from there. It can be a bit of a back and forth when you use that curse. If you're not clumped up for it, of course, no damage will come through. Your team can kind of set up around it, but you don't really have the most amazing follow-up from Fnatic's end. I guess Kiss is probably your best bet if you time it right. So we'll have it's all down to execution there. If you can catch mid one, staying too close to his team. Still another scuffle over these runes here.
Absolutely. Armel gonna move in onto Pylite Die, but the enchant is there to slow him up. DJ, he'll go for a cookie, but Moon, he's looping around. Armel, he's got curse, but Moon's been very careful with his positioning. Armel does not have a good curse to throw out, so he's just gonna drop as Moon plays that one very smart and does secure a very important kill here against Fnatic.
And I love to see that impression out from the SMG supports. They've got a lot of early presence here, especially now that the Ench can take some bigger creeps, and they're going for more.
Yeah, that they are. Jabs, in the meantime, going to get taken down on the Lycan. Another great rotation from SMG. Mind you, John, while that was happening, Raven does actually go into the dire triangle and steals all the stacks away from Moon and the Batrider. So you do get a fair bit of farm going the way of the Jug and a bit of farm denial the way of SMG, but Hell, I don't think they care right now. I mean, just look at Moon. Chasing down DJ, has the lasso, not going to play around. It's Genuel, he tries to help out, but he just can't do much. So maybe now they can punish Moon. Nah, he's going to be fine. They can't catch him with the Lycan.
Okay. And they're just clumping up top. Armel.
Go for a run. Arctic Burn is about to wear off. Mid one, he might just keep going. In fact, now with the cavalry coming in, they should have plenty, but Winter's Curse is there. It'll hold down a couple. As Arfu should drop and does, but they'll find the mid-winter Wyvern once again. SMG doing a real darn good job with their positioning, just not allowing a good curse. But Moon now in trouble. Tried to TP in the tree line, but now does get stunned up though. A nice stun from the Centaur as well. Though Moon should surely drop here, and well, he'll go for a run and he'll try to get away. Wolves are going to keep the vision up. Surely there's no way he gets out of this, as the cookie does land very nicely from DJ. Moon's still trying to run though with the sticky napalm. He might actually just make it out, and he does.
Radiant's top tower, Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
He's gonna get a bottle top up as well from Offwu. Nice and safe into the stacks he can go, although they look to still play aggressive. You get a good push going now for mid one. Also one aspect of the Lone Druid, of course, very fast to push, along with the DP on your lane. Raging's been left alone, gets a solo push down bot too. You're seeing the same beats here from SMG, Mike. They're taking these early tier ones. There's no defense really coming out from Fnatic. And if they start to clump around the mid, the map control loss from Fnatic's just gonna kind of bleed them dry. You still need a lot more farm on Raven. You need a ton more farm on Jabs. You're still trying to get that Dominator. You know when you're close. And even with that Dominator, as Fear pointed out, you've got the Ench, right? The panel pointed this out. You can always just enchant the Dominator creep. I'm not sure how impactful that really will be, even if that item is there.
It's not going to be that easy, that's for sure. For Jabs, we'll see what he gets done. I mean, at least at the very least, you get to the Helm of the Overlord timing, and you don't mind the enchant too much anymore until Pilot Die, say, hits level 20, where you'll have the enchant Ancients talent. But yeah, like you said, Helm of the Dominator, not going to be doing so much this game. And it's certainly going to keep mid one just farming up on this Lone Druid. And John, I say mid one's farming, but right behind him, Raging Potato on the DP, he's been left alone bot lane. He's having a very free game right now.
He gets a solo push on the tier 1. The whole of Fnatic was focused up top where all the heroes were clumped up. And now SMG has this really nice downtime to keep the build up. They want Moon to find some extra items first, maybe go for his travels before getting extra aggressive. They are sent to respond though, grouping around the triangle.
Pilot Die should drop here surely, and they will get him. Nice start here for Fnatic, but that's going to be about it. They'll always allow Pilot Die to just die like that for the sake of knowing where the side of Fnatic are, and well, seeing 4 heroes in the triangle would make the side of SMG feel very, very good about their own positioning now. So you look at the way they're split up across the map, everyone's just farming. They trust the draft to be able to overtake and just out kind of scale Fnatic later on. And when you've got a Lone Druid and a DP free farming like this, hell, even the Bat Rider kind of free farming, it's very problematic. And speaking of the Devil Moon, gonna move in. Genuel, he does go for the heavily jump out. Moon, he'll keep going for a chase, but won't want to fight into Armel. In fact, maybe he does. Curse is thrown out. Illusions will keep it going. Moon, maybe going a bit too far, maybe punished for it, though eventually, surely he goes. He'll bottle up, and he's gonna make it out. Jabs will chase him down. He should go down, surely. The Flame Break knocking him away, and the Lycan's out. Moon, oh, he'll go for a lasso. Jabs, don't die like this, Jabs. Fear is out. He will get Moon in the end, and he'll be fine. Root is there, though. Moon holding him down, or rather, mid one's holding him down as Jabs gets out. In the meantime, Raging Potato, he'll get a triple kill on his own. The Death Prophet just getting it done. And Jabs, well, he's still trying to run here, John, but it doesn't feel like he's getting out. Not anymore as an ultra kill goes the way of Raging Potato. SMG, I don't know what they had in their coffee today, John, but it's woken them up.
No, I think they had some mate, Mike. They're fully energized after running around. Moon stalling out that fight, splitting it up. The curse wasn't the biggest from Armel. I mean, the illusion damage was nice, but again, the follow through wasn't quite there. They don't have the burst. They didn't manage to line up for, say, even the kisses coming through. The levels weren't quite up on Zhao to try to clean up either. And now you have this ultra tanky DP who's more than willing to run around. BKB being farmed up. Once that BKB is up, you don't really have any good solutions for that DP in the middle, and Pi is just so aggressive running forward.
You love the way to play like this, though, as the end, right? Like, this is exactly what SMG want. They just want Pieliedie to frontline and keep getting information about where Fnatic are, and I think he's just doing a splendid job here, John. Really just a fantastic job from Pieliedie. It may not look pretty, but this is how you play the POS 5.
Yeah, he's just buying space, forcing responses out, scouting out very well. Kind of like what he was doing on the clock, right? He was taking initiative, being the hooker, and this time he's just giving info. Buying time, ensuring they can farm an SMG, ensuring that they play this aggressive style. It's back to that point we made earlier, Mike. They've managed to clear out all the tier 1 towers here on SMG's end. Fnatic has no tier 1s, tier 2 already under threat. Bot, the push coming out from a lone druid bear, which is Mask of Madness, is enough to force an early fortify. And they're not quite committing for the defense. They know SMG's not going to go on the all-in, but the threat of just finding a tier 2, taking the outpost, and just controlling their own jungle from Fnatic, it shrinks the map down severely. They're trying to push up top here. Raven does have the Maelstrom, so the farm is still racking up, but that 5k lead from SMG, it's tangible. You know, it's Raging Potato and it's mid 1 being pretty nicely ahead, and even Moon, who had maybe a bit of a slower start, so he's right up there, right behind Raven as well in farm.
They are. Bot tier 2 tower to drop as well. Mid 1, he might just keep going here, John. He wants at least a few rotations to try and defend this. And with the Wyvern there, they might just say that's enough. They'll be happy with that. Mid 1, he'll just go right back into the jungle. Almost has a full Desolator up on the Spirit Bear. And Fnatic, I mean, they're still getting some farm on their own end of things, but it's still a lone druid. And this Spirit Bear, once it gets out of control, it's a real menace to try and deal with. And for now, Fnatic, it just doesn't seem like they've hit any kind of spike to try and counter this.
No, they need a lot more. Like, we're seeing the Witchblade build up by Armel. That should add a little bit more of that output on the core Winter Wyvern. And of course, the Healthy Overlord that we were talking about in Jab still being built up. It just doesn't feel like they'll be able to do much with that just yet. I think a value pickup would be maybe a Halberd here for, say, Jabs, just to have a disarm on the bear if it feels like that's an issue. It makes it much more easy to manage. You don't have to worry about the entangle too much, especially while you don't have BKBs. And it just allows you to maybe feed off that bear a little bit more if SMG's not cautious. Although, speaking of... Jesus.
Oh, no, my God. That's a lot of damage. He's forced to curse up and just run. It's been a very rough time for Armel here, John, on the Midwinter Wyvern. Just has the Witch's Blade, but that's about it. And you saw just how fast he melts the Spirit Bear. You don't want to be forced to curse the bear every single team fight. And if you're mid 1, knowing that the opposing mid is so squishy like this, you might just aim him every time.
Yeah, you certainly can just run him down. There's not much counterplay they can do. Smoke out from SMG holding triangle, but they're smoking down bot here.
Oh, they don't get him. Mid 1, he's fine. He gets everything out of there.
Yikes.
Yeah, Januel, he was trying to get the lightning bolt off, but just unable to get there in time. And now Roshan's getting started, John. SMG, they know. They forced the rotation down bot. This is all planned from SMGs. They start Roshan. It is going to be scattered out with the Thunder God's Wrath, but they won't mind. They'll just move in. Pieliedie, he does break the smoke rotation as Raven is going to try with the Omni Slash, but it doesn't do enough damage. Now Raging, he can just keep going. Fnatic, they need to back off right here, right now. Raven, he'll pop the healing ward down and run. Meanwhile, Moon, he's in a bit of trouble on the Bat Rider, but he's going to back off thanks to the Sun Ray of the Phoenix. Is now Fnatic. They're the ones retreating once again, but the chase is on. DJ's been caught out. He'll drop with the Snapfire. That's one down here for Fnatic. And SMG, even without the DP ulti, they can move right back into the Roshan. They still have the Deso and the Spirit Bear. It's going to be very hard to defend this for Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, they still have the Curse. If Armel finds a good angle, it's not going to be easy without even something like the Blink. And not having the Omni means you're not going to have the presence of Raven. So they're forced to surrender that first Roshan. SMG, great plays, great read to kind of just go out. Omni Slash onto Ench just doesn't feel great. Untouchable. It's enough to be through some of those swings with minus attack speed. And now you have to deal with 2 lives up on mid 1. I mean, you think about that engagement. Remember when Armel was solo, being chased down solo by mid 1? That was without the Deso. With the Deso up, I think the next time if Armel's caught out like that, he's just dead. Like, the damage output of mid 1 right now is just ridiculous with that bear. And SMG is just playing so well to enable that. They're just buying out space, they're being aggressive,
Raven,
but
no.
still playing that
Oh, Raven.
4-1.
Raven's in trouble here, John. He'll spin TP out, and he'll be okay. Meanwhile, bot lane, they've got Moon on the Batrider. It's a great pickup here for Fnatic. They will take him down, no issues. Nice pickup there. Had you lost Raven, it wouldn't have been so much, but considering they do get Raven out of there, they'll be happy with that Fnatic.
Yeah, still managed to bail out. No Basher on the bear, so it's hard to kind of keep them locked in through that spin TP. And punishing Mid1 just a bit for being a bit too forward. Didn't expect maybe the rest of Fnatic to kind of back up Armel. Maybe seeing him play solo last time, figured he'd do it again. Armel's still sort of surrounded, but you're not going to see SMG kind of commit without any of their cores. And they are buying space out. You know, they are allowing that build up for Raven. He's still pretty behind on that Jug though, Mike. 7.4k net worth, 2k behind Raging in Mid1. Your DP still feeling great, your LD is feeling great, you're getting that blink up on Raging next. With a shard in the middle of these fights, it's going to be hard to manage him with a BKB. Still has an 8-second charge on hand. BKB going to be coming out for Moon as well. Like that Winter's Curse isn't going to do much once that spell immunity is running here on a lot of these heroes. That stealth damage just isn't going to be a factor.
DJ's been caught out down a bot lane. SMG should have no problems with this one, as DJ already committed the cookie to try and get out. He will get rooted up, and Mid1 will take him down, no problem. Meanwhile, top lane, Raging, he's just fine. They have nothing to cancel the TP. They need their supports around for those kind of kills. And knowing where Fnatic are, SMG, they're just going to force high ground, I think, here, John. Why the hell not? They've got the Aegis up anyway.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They've got the Aegis, they've got Exo ready to go. A bit of a smoke out from Fnatic, maybe looking for an angle on this high ground defense. Still have a curse, so could be a way to punish if SMG overcommit and clump up.
Yeah, but SMG, they've got the Kyle curse, John, and that seems a lot stronger than Armel's, I'll tell you that. As they do commit the curse right here, it's going to be on one. The Phoenix doing a bit of damage with Raging. He's still just fine to back himself out as they'll get a reset with the Sun Ray and with the Spirit Siphon. Raging basically up to full HP once again as Mid1 trying to protect his Spirit Bear, almost going down, but he's going to be able to walk his way out and maybe just respawn it. And he will. Back into the T3 tower they go. They'll force the glyph out. SMG might just want to walk away with the T3 tower here, as it is getting rather spicy now with this high ground defense. And in fact, they're just going to back out of there. Ulti finishes off from Raging. He doesn't want to mess around any longer than he has to. And I do like the way SMG are just... They're not overextending, John. They're playing very safe, very conservative. They'll go high ground for a bit. If they don't get what they want, they back off and they just keep growing that net worth lead. And Fnatic, for now, have just not been able to deal with it.
I mean, they dropped the curse, they aren't able to follow up. And if that curse fails, then you can still whittle away at the wave, you can still hold high ground, but you can't go for a kill. So SMG not interested in that stalemate of just spamming out spells. Just, as you mentioned, keep building up, hit that item spike. Moon has his BKB flying out. That could be the launching point. Maybe you want your Batrider blink right after, but once you have that initiation tool with a spell immunity for Moon, should be a lot easier for him to find some key pickoffs. He's eyeing Raven. Again, doesn't have anything to jump in, so a bit difficult. Raging does find Zhao, though.
It's a silence, but does he have a way to cancel the TP? Not quite. He'll try to bullwhip him, but that's certainly not going to work out for Raging. Nice try anyway. The 6-10 now, 20 minutes in. SMG still in the lead by quite a bit here. 9k net worth to go their way. Mid1 going for the shards build up now on the Lone Druid. Even more annoying here for Fnatic to try and deal with. And in the meantime, of course, Raven trying to go for the Manta build up on the Jug. Been a much slower process for the Jug here for Raven. Again, there's just really not much he can do considering how the other lanes went. He just needs to keep farming while the rest of his team need to keep buying time. And even for the rest of Fnatic, like, they've got no option but to hope that SMG make a bit of a mistake and they can capitalize.
Yeah, I think the big issue for Fnatic is that all their play is coming really from the Winter Wyvern with Curse. You could try for solo pickoffs, of course, and they are smoking up, looking for that right now.
Moon, he's going to BKB up, go for a lasso out onto the Snapfire, and well, DJ, he'll get put on the cliff, but he has Cookie to get away from this. Pig out now as well, but Moon should have his way with him, and will do so. Meanwhile, top side, Raven, he'll spin TP out. He's in no danger. It's a failed smoke attempt here from Fnatic. Moon, he'll walk away with another kill on the board on the Batrider, and I suppose on the bright side, at least they haven't touched Raven.
Yeah, I mean, the Jug's farming relatively stable, but it just doesn't feel like that investment's really working out just yet. Like the Manta's gonna help, especially against the Entangle if your Blade Fury's down, but you still have the Basher to worry about. You can't really just jump in and try to go for the spin play with your Shard as well. With a Basher and the Lone Druid, it just makes it really hard for you to stand against the Bear, and SMG just very methodical. You know, they're playing it safe. Just as you mentioned, just go for the objectives. Don't take massive risks, and you know, kind of cleaning up from what we've seen in the early half of this tour. They're being a lot more disciplined.
Okay, there's a decent curse. He got the Spirit Bear there onto mid one, but the Sunray is healing him up. And can they take him down? Mid one, he's still alive, and now the X been dropped. He is not going down. Mid one, he'll chase down Raven. They've got the Jug again. They will call it Embrace, but it's not going to help for long. Raven's in big trouble, and is going to drop. Now SMG, they'll go for more. Right into the base of the Radiant side as Januel is going to TP out in time. Meanwhile, DJ and Armel in trouble, and Jabs, well, he's been caught out as well. He's not getting out. Look at Raging underneath the tier 4 towers, not going too far, just getting all the kills he could ask for and right back into the tier 3. Very clean plays from SMG here, John. Fnatic, they're trying their best, but they are just getting outplayed. This game number 2, they'll get charged down once again by Raging. Another triple kill out for the DP. 8-0 on 1. For the offlane of SMG, and well, Fnatic, John, I've got to ask, how do they come back in this game number 2?
It's hard to see, Mike. They need a really good curse. They need to combine their spell damage, catch them off from SMG's part when their BKBs aren't popped on, and try to work that burst window. It doesn't feel easy to achieve that. Like your Zeus is a support. It's not like he has Ags. It's not like he has a Kaya or the Octarine. It's pretty hard to get that burst damage from your Zeus. You have the Kisses that can kind of fly out, but you don't have the levels on DJs. It's a level 1 Kisses at the moment. It's kind of inching towards that level 2, but you really want that 18 to be lined up to maybe kill them off a lot faster. It's still a long ways until any of that's up. And again, it's just a question of the Jug. Yes, Raven's farming. Yes, he's top network core for Fnatic. He's behind now by 3k on Raging Potato and by 5k in comparison to mid one. Your Jug still doesn't have the full Manta up. Past that point, you know, maybe you start thinking about, say, the Basher to have a little bit control. You could try for the Ags if you feel like you want that added invulnerability state to remove reliance on Omnislash, but it still doesn't feel particularly amazing for the side of Fnatic. And, you know, going to SMG, they're playing so well. I want to point out, this is something that SMG has done on and off really well. Like, their early game just gets really well. It's still the same SMG. It's just a lot cleaner towards this late game. Like, they've fixed a lot of those issues, and now they're going for the smoke kills.
No, but they are, Jonathan. They move in. Already Genuel going down. SMG, they're still smoked up. They want more, and they know the tree line is full of heroes right now, or rather just DJ. They'll find him. Yule's out, is going to lock him down, and that'll be another support to go down the way of SMG. DJ's going to try and fight this one out against Arfu, but won't be able to survive. All the kills going to Raging Potato. And now this tier 2 top tower, even without creeps, is still in danger. This Spirit Bear, it just hits so damn hard. And Mel?
Radiant's top tower
Yeah, he gets lassoed here, John. He's gone. 60 seconds without buyback.
And it's a dieback for him. High ground defense is not there without that curse. Like, you can try for some cheeky plays with your Zeus respawn with the Thunder God's Wrath, spamming out the spells, but again, it just doesn't feel enough. And this is SMG going for these plays without any protection from, say, Aegis. They're not waiting for that rush. They just want to go. They know they're ahead. They know they probably don't want to give openings to Fnatic, as we've heard Fnatic say. If the game drags on, they tend to feel like the better team, not even giving them that opportunity.
Raven, he's going to try his best to just spin around and get something done. Moon, he'll make the jump in, but has no lasso available. They'll get the kisses out onto mid one Spirit Bear, but it just stands its ground and just keeps hitting the racks. That'll be the top racks gone. Fnatic, it's getting close to that time to call it, I think. They've got to find a way to force this fight to go their way. Armel's up in 13. Maybe they have a chance with that, but Jabs is going to rush in, but the fear is immediate. Out onto the Wolf, it does nothing. Omnislash not even killing off Twilight Die. He'll chase him down with the spin with the Sun Ray. It's going to heal him up. Raven now just needs to run out, and he will do so. And they've bought out enough time for Armel to respawn up on the Wyvern. And SMG once again, John, they back off.
They're just so smart. They're so disciplined right now. They know there's the risk of a big curse. That's the setup. That's the team fight of SMG. That's where it all hangs in the balance. And they just don't give the openings. They go back. They get a DD up on Moon. Roshan is up if they want to go for the objective. But again, they're just looking for the angle to just find a kill and go for the end game.
Jabs can be chased down on the Lycan. Mule Scepter. Gonna lock him down with the lasso. They've caught Armel.
Oh, no.
He does not have buyback available. Armel cannot afford to die, but he's gone. And so is Raven. No buybacks on either. GG's called. Fnatic, they cannot win this game number 2. 2-0 the way of SMG. In something I think nobody expected here, Jonathan. Just considering that the results of the past tour, you wouldn't expect this kind of result here from SMG, but a 2-0 victory, and what a performance coming out from the players of SMG as Pylai die. I think that's the first time I've ever seen the man smile, John. Happy days for him. And I'll tell you, again, I don't think anyone believed this was going to happen, but you know what that means, Jonathan, is suddenly SCA DPC 2 or 3 is getting a hell of a lot more spicier. It's not just a guaranteed Fnatic, RSG, and Talon are going to the major anymore, John. Things are getting very spicy when you look at those groups.
Yeah, it gets a little bit dangerous, and props to SMG. I think a lot of people underestimate them, but that's not to say that they were weak, right? Like, you look at their game, especially against Boom, where they look amazing. Their early aggression was there. That playstyle was always there. It was just that late game discipline, maybe some of that late game decision making that fell flat. And we're seeing how scary SMG can be if they fix those issues. They have a great time in lane. Raging plays so well in this one on his DP. He was given a free lane. They abandoned that bot lane early on. 11-0-2 on a DP. Like, I have never seen that many more kills and assists with 0 deaths. Like, he played a perfect game, and they just played around that tempo really well on SMG. For Fnatic, I mean, it kind of slows down their pace to go for Arlington. They still have a lot of games to play, of course, but SMG, man, to turn around in the last half of the DPC, that's pretty scary for a lot of teams that have to play them still.
It makes you wonder what would have happened if SMG were playing like this at the start of 2 or 3, John. I mean, they just beat Fnatic, arguably the best team in SCA right now. I mean, it's arguable, but you get my point. It's a fantastic performance. We'll go to a very short break. We'll get back with our panel. They'll explain what the hell happened this series, and hopefully we'll have a fantastic interview on the way. We'll see you then.
SMG putting on a performance of a lifetime does mean they take this series 2-0, and Fnatic is no longer undefeated when it comes to series. SMG looked so good not only here in this game 2, but across this whole series. They were fantastic. But if we were to have a look at the laning phase, I guess, Fear, you're always talking about that one, so you could talk about it again for game 2. Like, which lane do you feel did the best for SMG, and why?
Both side lanes did really well. Like, this Lone Druid, I think he was like doubling the net worth of Lycan in the laning stage, but also like Raging Potato, without a doubt, had an amazing performance on his DP. So both side lanes and SMG in this game number 2 were quite dominant.
Yeah. Do you now see the reasoning for the bat? Because that was a pick that you were a little bit confused about when we were drafting.
Yeah, it seems as if they knew this Wyvern was just going to go mid, no matter what. They had the same like issue in game 1, where it's like, oh, they're gonna, or maybe it wasn't even this series, maybe next series. No, it was this series actually, the Coddle mid, right? I was like, they just kind of like know where heroes are going, probably from scrims, and it's quite apparent that they just are gonna play their style no matter what. They're not gonna make too many like changes. I was like, oh, Zeus could be really cool here mid, and they put the Wyvern mid anyway, which admittedly did well in mid lane, but throughout the whole game, I don't think you want to be a core Wyvern versus a Bat Rider. That's just kind of sad.
Yeah, did you feel much of an impact at all, Gods, from, I guess, the cores on the side of Fnatic, them going back for that Jug pick, even first phasing it?
Not really. The probably one that felt kind of most impact with the Wyvern, but we got to the point where some of these mid to late game fights, whoever got cursed, like Curse is like a lone druid with a bear hitting him, but the Phoenix acted as like a really nice kind of counterplay with the Sunray heal. I think something Fear mentioned, like, when sometimes you're playing Phoenix against these egg counters, you just play around your other spells, and it felt like he used the Sunray to great effect. The Lone Druid plus Phoenix was like one of these go-to combos, like, I don't know, a couple years ago or many patches ago, because Sunray heal on the Spirit Bear is just so damn good, and also just worked great here against the Wyvern. So I did not feel that much impact from the cores, but I would say more so from the Jug and the Lycan. Jabs had a rough series. I think hero comfort-wise. We saw him on kind of 2 new heroes he hasn't played. You know, he's a player who's only been playing offlane for a year now, and he definitely didn't feel very impactful on Lycan or in game 1 as well, when he played the Viper, which I think he has played the Viper before, maybe once or twice, but it definitely felt like a series where he really just struggled.
Yeah. You mentioned briefly there SMG's, I guess, just insane team fight, right? That sustainability coming out from them compared to Fnatic's inability to really take that fight. Do you think that there was a way back in for them if they just had played it differently? Were they ever in a position to win a team fight?
What do they have? Possibly. I mean, it definitely there was openings for them, and you've got the Wyvern. They really tried to force that Roche contest, but I think SMG just played it really smart. Like when Fnatic came at them at the Roche, they just, you know, they got out. They engaged them head on. They didn't let themselves get caught and trapped and surrounded in the pit by Big Curse. So I think SMG were just really smart about it. Like, you know, they waited till Fnatic got zoned away, then they went back in to finish off the Roche stand. So probably some of those earlier team fights is when Fnatic had the best shot, but SMG just played around it too well.
Yeah, SMG played probably some of the best Dota we have seen, especially this week. They win, and that means we get to have a chat with one of the players too. We have Pile Die joining us for this. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. How does it feel winning against Fnatic, a previously undefeated team?
Feels pretty good. Feels good.
Yeah. For you guys, were you surprised at all during draft? Did anything from Fnatic come as a surprise, or were you prepared for it all?
No, nothing was really a surprise, to be honest.
Okay.
It was, yeah, it was kind of like expected.
Interesting.
You personally, Pi, you took a bit of a break. You were kind of a household name in the pro Dota scene for a while. What's this comeback been like for you? Do you feel like you were a bit rusty at first? Like how's the adjustment been for you coming back to play pro Dota?
How has it been? I mean, it's different now. You don't play as many games, so like you come in, you lose one series, and it matters a lot. So like in terms of that, that's what like the hardest part is. Then rusty, I don't know. It feels I've done it for so long, so. I didn't feel that rusty.
Yeah.
Only feel rusty if I don't play pubs for a week. Then I start feeling rusty.
Okay. I gotta ask a bit of a fun question. So, are you feel any pressure, any nerves? 5 position for SMG is kind of like defense against the dark arts. Every year, it's like there's a new teacher, there's a new 5 player. Do you feel any pressure to perform because of that?
I mean, I only feel the normal pressure to perform. Obviously, you're gonna compare yourself a bit to like what's been like what happened before, but in general, it's just normal. You wanna do good.
Yeah.
You wanna integrate into the team, and you wanna play well.
I'm impressed you gave a serious answer.
All right, so you said you expected the draft coming out from Fnatic, but question for you is like a lot of people don't expect your drafts coming. I wanted to know like what is your communication while you guys are drafting? Like who talks the most, and like what's like drafting like on your team?
It's different than what I'm used to. It's a lot like personal responsibility for your own hero. So there's not really one guy like making every call. Like, so we all have to try to, like, you almost always pick your own hero. Is kind of how it works. Not like exactly, like obviously people help out and speak, but it's more like the pick is like you're not getting forced into a pick. Like if you pick a bad hero and you play shit, like it's on you.
You feel like
you chose that hero.
Your hero picks are not consistent that way, depending on someone's mood. They want to play different stuff. In that regard?
It could happen. It could happen. And maybe like there was one game where I picked a hero where like immediately after 5 minutes I'm like, yikes, this was not good, and I'm like, I can't blame anyone.
Last question before we do let you go though is you've been with SMG now for a couple of weeks. What do you think has been the biggest impact or the biggest advantage that you've brought to the team?
I mean, it's kind of what could it be? It's probably just like I've done it for so long, like so like I can pretty easily come in and just play. I can learn my heroes. Like I know how to lane, I know what to do. I know what, like, I've had discussions on 10 different teams about how you're supposed to fight a Roche. So it's like every discussion that's ever been, I've had. So like it's fast to like get back into it.
Awesome. Well, Pilot, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on the win.
Thank you.
All right, see ya. There you have it. We finally got to talk to Pilot Die. Only
Yeah.
took us what, 4 weeks? Yeah, well, week
SMG,
4.
they got
And
your
a
win
week 4.
games to get
Yeah.
an interview, you know.
Yeah, okay.
did win
All
one.
right. I wasn't going to go that way. That's not what my intention was, but that's also kind of valid as well. But yeah, there we have it. SMG having the upset, the Carl curse very much coming true as they take that series 2-0 against Fnatic. Having a look at Division 1 standings, it is a big change up from where we saw these standings at the start of the day. It's Boom and Talon tied up there in first. RSG very close behind, only having an extra loss. Then Fnatic, T1, SMG, NGXC, and Polaris. So it's definitely, this leaderboard feels so close, yet also so far apart. I don't know how to explain it, especially when I have it here. Out of those top teams, we still have Boom T1, we still have Fnatic Boom, we have Fnatic T1, and Talon RSG, and SMG Talon.
Spicy.
Yeah, yeah, very
me-
spicy. There's insane matchups still to come.
And we also have tiebreak. Let's be real.
Yeah, there's no way.
chance we get out of this without tiebreak.
100%, 100%. Do you ever want to go back on your bold predictions from week 2?
I don't remember what I said, but I'm going to stick with it.
Okay, perfect.
So,
I feel like, did I ask you?
yeah. I remember making a bold prediction that Boom would make the major.
Yeah, I
my-
think that's it. I think you were like RSG Talon and Fnatic or something
No,
like that.
I think I definitely said Fnatic. I said
You
Fnatic, T1, and Talon.
Okay.
I didn't have RSG. I think RSG's, my prediction for them is they'll make tiebreakers and then they'll have a sad ending and not make the major.
That's already
But-
sad and it hasn't even happened yet, but it could potentially happen as there is going to be more weeks of SEA Dota. This is our final day for week 4 of SEA, but we will be back tomorrow for some Eastern European action here on Beyond the Summit.